for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 22 coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Red Zone Coins. Use code VENM at checkout for 10% off. Yo, what's up guys, VENM Fire here, back with another video, and in today's video we are going to show you guys the biggest glitch in Madden 22, how to run it, and how to beat some of the defenses that have been put out to stop it, like that dollar defense or Big Dime 236 defense, DB Fire 2. Show you guys easily how to beat that. That's really not good defense at all. It might stop the quarterback a little bit, but it's an RPO, so you can hit it off to the running back. I'm sure some people don't know that, but or they must not know that, but it is an RPO, so you can hit it off to the running back, which will invalidate a lot of those bum defenses. But the one we're running is going to be in Carolina Panthers offensive playbook. So Panthers playbook, we're going to be running the one out of the bunch, halfback strong. Now there are a lot of other good ones. There's one out of the doubles, this RPO zone peak. That one's a good one. If you just go to concept, you go to, or play type rather, RPO peak. You see there's a ton of these in every other formation. There's 9 of these just in the Panthers playbook alone. We're mainly going to focus on this bunch one. I think this one's really good because you can audible from this to bunch offset. And obviously in a bunch offset meta or bunch meta can definitely be valuable. So what do you need? I would recommend probably 2 quarterbacks if you're using regs, Lamar and Kyler. We're going to use Lamar. You could probably run it with Josh Allen, but you want someone fast. Lamar and Kyler do fit the description. In Ultimate Team, anyone with speed, Matt, or you can use Vince Young got a new card. Lamar, of course. Justin Fields, guys like those. I would stay away from people like Josh Allen for sure. But the one we're going to run is going to be this RPO zone peak you see in the middle right there. That is the one we are going to run. We're just going to go against a variety of defenses. Certain defenses do stop it better than the others, and you'll see that. But yeah, with that being said, let's jump straight into it. Also, before we get into the video, I do want to remind you guys to drop a big thumbs up on the video and hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me, and it definitely shows your support of the channel, lets me know that you want to see these videos. So also let me know in the comments if you wanted me to drop a video on how to defend this the right way, because I can definitely drop that for you guys. So there's a couple of things that go into this RPO. We actually have a couple of things. Now, when people are running this, if you are like a bot and you start running this, you're probably not going to do anything, but you can literally easily throw the ball in this. So a lot of people, like I said, some of those defenses are set up just to stop the quarterback, which is not the only part of an RPO. You have to defend more things than just that. Also, you have to defend the inside zone, and there you can see this is already one of the defenses that I have ran to stop this particular RPO glitch. It's going to be the linebacker cross 3. You see those looping linebackers do a really good job of defending the running back, so we kind of want to build off of those. Now, I do have the computer set up, so I can't really adjust out of that defensively, and we're mainly showing how to run it, not how to stop it. So let's just focus in. Now, there's a couple ways to actually keep it with your quarterback, and obviously when you're keeping it with your quarterback, you just don't press anything. You just snap the ball, and then you hold that right trigger to put your turbo on and run wherever you want. So we're going to start out by just running to the outside. You're just going to hold it, run to the outside here. You're going to outrun everybody with Lamar Jackson. You can cut in, cut out, whatever you want. And overall, it just gives you, a variety of options. You see, you're usually just faster than everybody. If anyone even comes close to you, you can usually outrun them. Now, as far as fatigue, managing fatigue, the best way to do this is to, if you're able to unlock that momentum perk. That momentum perk, it's usually the first one on either the right or left, whatever side you are on. What that does is it should, I think something with fatigue, either fatigue for run plays, not exactly sure off the top of my head, but it's one of those things, and it'll pretty much prevent your quarterback from getting tired at all. So that's when you'll usually run it. If you want to build momentum, you can run bunch or something until you get the momentum. You get a stop, something like that. You get a pick, then you'll have the momentum, and then you can just run this, and it becomes super overpowered. Even there you see free rusher, that's a linebacker, free linebacker rushing, and we're able to just completely outrun him. Now, if you want to manage the stamina, let's say you don't have the momentum, or even if your opponent has any momentum, pretty much what you're just going to do is get on the ground. If you just slide, you will never really run out of stamina. Now, eventually you do if you just run this and keep sliding, but as long as you're not taking hits, you're not going to run out of stamina, and you can do this all day. 15 yards, 15 yards, 15 yards. Super, super easy to do that. Even some things I like to do, mix it up, go with a little bit of motion. That can, mix things up, spread the field out a little bit. But overall, just super good that way, and that is just the first way to run it. And this is a relatively stacked box. You see we have 2 safeties down in the box. We have, linebackers. We have 7 people in the box right here. And just overall, even that is not stopping it at all. Here you see we're able to get to the outside. If your receiver can pick up a block, definitely nice. Depending on the angles, the speed ratings, certain things, you could even have a chance to take that further to the crib. But let's actually show you guys the other way to run it. And the other way to run it is going to be to run it to this left-hand side. Now, right there, you'll see one of the biggest glitches with running it to the left side. And that is going to be that linebacker that stands there. Usually, he should tackle. But if they do not click on, he's not going to do anything. And sometimes you can either cut it inside or you can just straight up run around him. Now, I'll show you guys what it looks like when the defense is flipped, because they might try the defense flipped. If this is becoming an issue, again, you see I'm just able to sprint right around him, 10 yards. Now, against this particular setup, it's not as good, so we're just going to switch to a different defense to show what the play could look like if it were a better situation. All right, guys, what I decided to do here is actually switch to the DB Fire 2 setup that you guys might be seeing if you're running this, or if you have ran this. DB Fire 2, they'll run dollar. Now, usually they'll pinch their D-line, which can help a little bit, but usually won't stop it completely. The best way to run this is to literally sprint up the middle like you're running a quarterback draw. You pretty much sprint up the middle. This is if the defensive line is spread. We'll show you, or I'll explain what to do if it's not. Now, running it to the left, you can't run it to the outside. Blitzing corner, D end. Now, that will be more open if the D end is pinched, of course, but for now, the best way to run this is to sprint up the middle right there. Ideally, you would probably want to cut it back. That was terrible stick work, but you see you have a lot of potential running it this way. Just going up the middle, I can bounce it outside. In the open field, you can spin, you can juke. If you guys want to know how to get better with the stick skills in the open field, check out that video I did a couple of days ago. Certainly a good video for that. But you can cut it to the right, pull it back left, make sure you try and slide. Also, make sure you are on conservative, because if you take a hit, you don't want to fumble. Guys like Fields and Ultimate Team have really good carrying, though. But again, you can cut it like traditionally outside. Ideally, if you want a better block, you can maybe get a better blocking running back, which you could also even sub in a fullback. I've seen people do that. But straight up the middle, super good. Now, if they pinch their defensive line, certainly a possibility. What if they pinch their D-line? Now, if they pinch their D-line, you probably want to cut it around like this. Now, of course, that defensive end will be further inside and you'll have a bigger gap. Not to mention that gap was pretty large anyway. But you'll have one offensive lineman gone, and ideally your running back's going to pick up that slot corner. You can either step it up. Now, again, that defensive end, he's going to be picked up by that guy, so he's going to kind of be invalidated. Your left tackle will probably be able to pick someone up on the second level, or the linebacker. And then what will happen is this running back here will pick up your slot cornerback. So run it like this. And sometimes they'll get those shoestring tackles. You shouldn't really fumble on those, but overall super good. Again, other ways to beat this DB Fire 2, hit the flat quickly. There you see one of the reasons I like to motion out, just there. They get bumped up. Sometimes you can throw a pick. Also, if it's a soft squat, which is what they're sometimes playing, you can kind of roll out. Now, never mind, don't throw it like that, but let's show what just handing it off looks like. It's just a pretty much basic inside zone. Now, we're getting blown up by that linebacker, but, you know, if they hold their blocks on the second level, you are going for big gains here, 15 yards right there. So even if they do pinch their D-line, which people will pinch their D-line, you would probably need an inside stuff or something to stop this. You see there, we get 20 yards. So if you're in dollar's not good against the run. So really the best way to do it, and again, I can bring you guys a video. Not sure if you'll want to see it. Depends on how this video does, of course, but it is something interesting. Now, again, just basic inside zone, and when you just combine the three different things that could happen with the fact that you can still run other plays, just makes this super difficult, especially when you're going against someone who's going to do something like this. They can either come out in either bunch offset, they'll get you in a bunch of offset defense, 3-3-5 wide or something, and then they can just simply audible, reset the play, and you see, look how fast that audible is. 5 seconds, not even 5 seconds, and you can completely audible, sprint around with Lamar Jackson, and it's just stupid how good this scheme is going to be. I assume you'll see this a lot on Weekend League. If you play regs, you will definitely see this, because you don't need, like, not super fast quarterbacks are out in the game right now in Ultimate Team, so it's not as good. But in regs, it's crazy dumb how good this scheme is and how overpowered it is overall, especially when guys like Lamar get their X factor. They're not going to fumble, and as long as you don't lose yards, he's going to have that, and he's not going to fumble the rest of the game, which means you can start spinning, start juking. Now again, you get the momentum, you can pretty much do whatever you want. You get the momentum, you get the X factor, you might as well call it the game right there. So just overall some good stuff. You can also mix it in. I've seen some guys like to mix in this little motion. You get a backside slant, but just mixes up the attack. Just gives them another thing to look for. Another strategy that you can kind of attack with is going to be starting out in bunch halfback strong, and then you audible to the bunch offset. So now you get him in RPO defense. You quickly audible to something like verticals that doesn't need a lot of hot routes. And then all of a sudden he's adjusting. He doesn't get his adjustments off. You can roll out, hit this wheel route, which that was a terrible throw by Lamar. But just overall different things like that. Now what I'm going to do here is hop into a different RPO and show you guys a couple of things. Alright guys, hopping into the gun doubles one now. Here's an issue with this that I've noticed. If you want to run the DB Fire 2 defense against this, it's typically really good. And it can be good against the bunch one, but against this double one, it is especially good. Pretty much locks it up. As long as your defensive lineman in the inside can shed, the quarterback is usually invalid out of like a doubles when you run the DB Fire 2. Now I've seen it sometimes you can cut back to the left, but usually cutting it right, it's difficult, especially because this tight end kicks out on his route and there's no way to like block him at all. So that is definitely an issue. But if they're in any other defense besides dollar or dime 236, you should be able to do this simple stuff. Roll out. Now, if depending on if that tackle can get out, you have a touchdown. If he can't, you have your same 15-yard gain, stuff like that. Again, all you have to do is outrun these slow guys, which, you know, sometimes it works better than others. Sometimes you will get sheds defensively. That's fine. If you're the offensive player, you'll give that up. Here, I mean, geez, they just shedded, but you see, look how overpowered this play is. 3 people shedded, and it didn't matter at all. Now, if you see your quarterback getting tight like that, you probably don't want to juke, send him into the black, forces you to use the timeout unless you have the momentum. But you saw just how crazy. Again, 2 people shed, not an issue. Can roll around, slide on the ground, pick up your 20 yards, routine stuff. Let's cut it back now. Now against 3-3-5 wide, I believe the cutback is not as good, which you see there. It's not as good, but you can still roll out, pick up 15 yards. So same stuff, pretty much the same case scenario with this run. It's just certain things. I like the bunch one a little bit better simply because of the audible threat. And if you want to be really toxic, and there you see, sometimes they just shed crazy like that. In that situation, you can't really do anything, but you can still hand off the ball. If they are sending heat, like run committing, I don't have to run the RPO. Now, there's one small tell I've noticed out of the doubles. Look at my icons. You see how A is going to be the running back, RB is going to be the tight end. Now, when you're playing defense, it will also show up like that. So if I man up the tight end, he will be RB. Let's say I audible. Now, I audible, and look at this. Now my tight end's A. So if I'm setting up the same adjustments, I'm just manning up the tight end on every play to stop that flat route or something, then I can easily know if he's running the ball or not, send an extra guy, play defense depending on that. So that's another reason that I don't really like the doubles. I don't believe it's like that out of the halfback strong. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think it is. It actually might be, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. This play is so good that even I knew that going into a game and I still couldn't stop it. So that just shows you. But that's pretty much going to wrap up the video. If you guys enjoyed, once again, drop a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel for more down below. Follow my links once again in the description, and peace. I'm out of here.